Hello. Today I'll be presenting my second community experience. As I told you, I wanted to watch a practice of the WVU soccer team, but after talking to a few of the players, they told me that they finished practice like a few weeks ago, so I wasn't able to go and watch practice of them. I then tried to watch a track and field practice from middle schoolers, but I left after 20 minutes because it didn't seem to be a serious practice, and I didn't think it would have taught me anything, so it really didn't interested me. Anyway, I talked to a few classmates from my master class in France who sent me one of the videos they've been analyzing lately, and my presentation will be based on one of the videos. So, starting with the context, I watched a video of a PE session in one of the highest rated high schools of Strasbourg, which means that the students are very disciplined, should be very disciplined, but also very focused on having good grades. Uh, Throughout the lesson, and thanks to some of the information that was provided, I was able to get a sense of the context of the class. So the average age of the students was 14 years old, which is a time when they start discovering who they are and they start building their own personalities. So as a teacher, it is very important for us to remember this when we're in front of this type of public, because everything we say can have a negative and a positive impact on their character and their lives. This class was composed of 32 students, and the sport that was being used to develop the students' skills was volleyball. In this class, as in many others, you can see that small groups were built inside of the class. But in general, everyone seems to get along very well with each other. The lesson was divided in a warm-up, two short specific technical drills followed by a game practice game system, where three different clubs were divided in two groups, the skilled ones and the less skilled ones. Let's say there were three clubs built, and each club had two teams, the A team and the B team. A team for the strong players and B team for the less skilled players. And each club played against the two other clubs, so the A team played against the A team of the other two clubs and the B team too. Um, After each game, one of the clubs had a break, like both teams had a break, and during that break, the students from the A team, the skillful ones, would help the students from the B team with things they thought they needed to improve. And I think this was a very smart way to implement a differentiated, uh, I don't know how to pronounce this, pedagogy way of teaching. So I divided my analysis and observations in two parts, the teachers and the student activities. So talking about the teacher, her pedagogy adapted by the teacher was mostly active, which means that she gave the students a good amount of autonomy throughout the lesson. During most part of the lesson, the teacher chose to give more attention to the less skilled students. She seems to keep an eye on the other group, but most of her attention was given to the ones who had like problems keeping up with the skills and everything. She seems to have a very good relationship with the students, but kept her authority by raising her voice and blowing the whistle when it got too loud or when balls started flying around, etc. She regulated the size of the fields throughout the exercises after seeing one of the teams struggling a lot with keeping the ball in the air. Also, before the drills, she explains what the students have to do, while one of the skilled students demonstrates it. During the drills itself, she tries to distance herself, and she just observes. She intervened one or two times during the whole practice, during the drills, because there was this one student who really seemed to need help. So she did what she had to do. um, what would I take and what I would do differently from what she has done? Like the positives, the things I would take was the way she adopted an active type of pedagogy, which means that she gave a lot of autonomy to the students. I would take this with me because based on how the class was, this very active and full of 14 years old, I think having an active pedagogy will not only motivate them but also teach them how to be autonomous, which is very important for a student. And then also her way of being and her way of speaking to the students is pretty relaxed and calm, which is something that I will definitely also try to do with my students. And also she regulated throughout the exercises, and that's something that I've been told is something very important we should do in case we see there are like any problems or the students are not keeping cannot keep on going because there's any type of problem. So to regulate throughout the exercise means that we know the sports and means that we know that the students are gonna need help at that precise moment. Anyway, another thing I would take is this type of this coaching method she had, like with the less skilled students, with the practice game system. That's something I really thought it was very interesting, and it's something I will definitely take to my future classes with my students. Things I would do differently would be I would wait until the children are quiet instead of raising my voice louder than them because I hate raising my voice, and that's just something I don't feel like doing. I just don't see myself screaming around. And then another thing I would do differently was she didn't give the objectives of the class and the drills in the beginning of the class, and that's something I would do. And also by the end of the class, I would give a feedback about how the class was, what they could have done differently, what I liked, what I didn't like, and that's something I think she didn't do, and that's something I would do differently. Also, I would be less touchy with the students while helping them because I've been told that's very dangerous, and in my case, since I'm a young guy, that will probably be interpreted in the wrong way, so that's something I would do differently too. And finally, I would give also more hints about how to move inside of the field and when to go for the ball depending on the position we are. And that's also something she didn't really do, maybe because the students were not skilled enough to go deep on the tactical side of volleyball. But I think that's something important and not too deep into tactics. So yeah, I also have the students part, but I think I'll skip it for time's sake. And yeah, my last take is that the fact that what I liked the most about the lesson was that, like I told you, the practice game system that was proposed by the teacher, and that since it favors cooperation and autonomy, it's something that I will use, but also because it makes the the skilled students feel competent and have more responsibilities. And on the other hand, it makes the less skilled children uh, engage in their activities and feel like they are able to learn. And that's something I liked very much about this class. And also, since on volleyball we see a lot of different levels of skills, I think it would be a very good thing to do. Also, since the class was very big, 32 students seems to me to be a very big class. I think adapting this system can be also very useful because like four teams are playing and two teams are in the middle practicing, and they don't really need the teacher all the time to be there. So it's a perfect way of teaching, I think. But yeah, that would be everything, and thank you a lot. Have a good day.